Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Christine Serafini, licensed real estate salesperson with Miranda Real Estate Group. I'm glad that you could join this about 45 minutes of information for what I believe are the 10 best secrets for selling your home. I'm very excited to share this with you. This was definitely something that I presented at the 2020 Home Show on March 1st at Rivers Casino in Schenectady. And I did a little private room Q&A, if you will, just presented these best secrets and went through them and was able to answer questions for sellers or homeowners who were thinking about selling their home. So it was, I thought, valuable information. I think it'll answer some questions for you. And at the end, most certainly, I will take Q&A. But also, as a bonus to this information, I'm going to be providing you with my updated standards of practice that I have now for selling real estate in this pandemic situation that we have with COVID-19. We're in a very, very fluid time right now, very emotional, and we have to think about safety first when buying and selling homes. So I've instituted some practices when working with buyers and sellers, and at the end of these 10 tips, I'm going to share that with you and direct you to some more information where you can read about or listen to. But let's just, so here we have, we're going to start with number 10. And this is an important one. All 10 of these steps are very, very important, but we'll start with number 10 here. And this is all about your storage in your closets. This is really important for a seller to showcase the amount of storage your home does have. And I know we can tend to overstuff our closets, close the door, and just kind of forget about what's in there. But it's very important when you're preparing your home to sell that we show the amount of storage that there is. So what I would do is half empty those closets, get that mindset. Look at your closet and say, all right, half of this has to be removed. As I state here, storage is something every buyer is looking for and can never have enough of. Clear half out and neatly organize the rest you're leaving. Keep all cabinets and closets clean and tidy. I can't tell you enough that when I go out with buyers and we view homes together, that is a key factor for them. They're looking for that storage. They're looking for that closet space. And one of the negatives that I say, okay, why are we not choosing this home? Tell me 3 things that this doesn't suit your needs. And they'll say, well, the amount of storage, they really couldn't see it. There could be great storage in a home, but we really can't see it because it's being overutilized. So I think from a selling standpoint, let's half empty those closets and really showcase your storage space. Number 9, light it up. So light is very important. Sunlight, natural sunlight. We don't want to have curtains closed. We want to showcase the amount of sunlight. A lot of people like to see where the sun comes in the morning or where it is in the afternoon. So let's maximize your light in your home. Let's take down the drapes, clean the windows, change the lampshades. Maybe you have dark lampshades or dusty lampshades. Let's change or clean those. Increase the wattage of your light bulbs. Take down the drapes. We've said that twice, so we're going to make sure. I guess we've said things twice here. But really, the lighting is really important. You know, the light bulbs, I'm going to talk to that for a second. The light bulbs, that's great. Have your light bulbs not all working, especially when you have evening showings. It's going to be very important. People are going to want to turn lights on and be able to see the size of a room and how it does light up. But also, like I said, that sunlight. That sunlight's really important. A lot of people, oh, I love the morning sun. I like to sit out and have my coffee. Let's see where that sun rises, or let's see where that sun sets. Just having your drapes or your curtains open or your blinds open during showings really shows off where that sunlight is coming from. All right, number 8. So as a seller, we have a discussion when you list your home, what's going to be important times and days that are going to be, your home's going to be available for buyers to be able to make appointments. And in any market, especially a slow one, you never want to miss a showing opportunity. We want to we want to be able to showcase your home at any time it is requested, or set up an expectation of blocked showings. So we can say, you know, we can definitely work with the seller and let buyers know that Monday through Friday, anytime after 5 to 8 p.m. in the nicer weather, 8 p.m. is great for showings, and weekends from 10 to 5. Other than that, you may have animals that you have to schedule to get out of the home, but being available for your showings is really important. Your home should be available to show as often as possible. And sometimes it might not be convenient, but if you are motivated and real serious about selling, you really need to make yourself and your home available to be shown. Buyers can come in and out of the market any day, anytime. They can always request information from your listing agent or myself. If I was selling your home, we can provide them with information, but always we want to provide them with dates and times that your home is available to see. So being available and making your home available is very important. Number 7, put away the pets. I love pets. I love dogs. They're great. They're obviously great home pets to have, but we have to keep in mind that other people may be allergic or afraid of your animals, especially dogs. When buyers walk through a home and there's an intimidating or over-friendly animal, all they'll remember is that animal, especially if they're scared or they have children with them. So even sometimes when you create your dog, or maybe even your cat or any animal that you have, it still could be intimidating to that buyer who's walking through, or that child, and also could potentially be a liability. So we want to do whatever we can to, maybe when you have a showing scheduled, you know, walk that dog during that showing, have someone pick up the dog and take the dog for a walk. Or the cat, maybe it's contained to one room or it stays in the basement. But just be mindful about the pets for a potential buyer to come in the home. We don't want them going in the home and all they remember is, oh, that dog. You know, they didn't really pay attention to that beautiful kitchen or that awesome bathroom or great formal living room. What they did was they just remembered the dog barking consistently. And we want that buyer to really engage in their showing and create an emotion of your home so they can picture themselves there. And if they don't have pets, they're definitely not going to position themselves in your home and seeing them purchasing that home. So definitely make sure you make arrangements for your pets on the days of showings and open houses. Number 6, don't over upgrade. This is a big one here. A lot of times I'm asked before someone lists their home, you know, should I replace the windows? Should I put a new roof on the house? Should I, you know, put all of this, put a new kitchen in, put new cabinets, new granite counter, whatever the case may be. We'll talk about them one item at a time. But quick fixes before selling always pays off. Those big renovations, not necessarily. You know very well you could you won't get your money back if you make those big choices. You know, a lot of people say, well, if I'm going to put a $20,000 kitchen in, my house is going to be worth $20,000 more. It's really not. The quick fixes are really to create your home to be more saleable, okay, and place it in the market where it's really it's gonna shine. You know, it's okay that the cabinets are oak and you've had them for 20 years, and maybe it's a countertop that you're not ready with the expense to put granite in, but it's a nice, clean, tidy cabinet, and what we want to do is just showcase the counter space for it. So you don't always necessarily get all that money back when you do all those upgrades to your home. So here I say you probably won't get your money back if you do a huge improvement before you put your house on the market. Instead, do these things to get top dollar. Fresh coat of paint. That can go a long way. I know a lot of the older homes, especially where I sell in, you know, Schenectady, Niskuna, Rotterdam, we still have some homes with wallpaper. That is one thing it's really a case-by-case basis, but people say, should I take the wallpaper down? It depends on the style, depends on the color, depends on, you know, if it's a busy wallpaper, really have to see that. But maybe through showings and through feedback, we're going to be told that they don't care for wallpaper, so that could be a price adjustment. So we'd really talk about wallpaper, whether or not it has to be removed, but definitely fresh coat of paint, trim, that goes so far. That really looks great. And go with those neutral colors. Go with the grays, go with the creams or the beiges. Don't do a bold color where someone come in and just be put off by that. Clean the curtains or buy new inexpensive ones. Not having, dust, coatings of dust and just, holes in the curtains does not show well. Getting a new expensive set of curtains or drapes goes a long way. The door handles and the cabinet hardware. Instead of replacing the doors and the cabinets, let's just look at the hardware. That's an inexpensive fix, but that could make those cabinets and doors pop. So really clean, really crisp, that'll look really good and that'll go a long way. Make sure all your closet doors, if you have those sliding closet doors, they're all on track. The worst thing someone can do is look at a closet and they go to close the door or open the door and it doesn't work. So let's just make sure those closet doors are on the tracks and that shows that those are functional and they can open and close easily. Any leaky faucets, cleaning the grout, those are little things that go a long way. If people notice any water issues, whether it's the basement or coming from a faucet or underneath the sink, let's check those all out and let's tighten those things up. That is always questioned for what could be a potential major problem when people see, the leaky faucets or water under a sink. Cleaning grout, you can have that even done professionally. I do that myself personally. I hire Stanley Steamer. They come in and clean the grout on my kitchen floor and in the bathroom, and it really, really is nice. They seal it. Very, very inexpensive. I don't have to replace the grout, and it maintains the grout really well. These are definitely the things that I would suggest not overdoing, and these little things will really, really, really go a long way and make your house pop a little bit more, and will definitely help the saleability of your house as well. Number 5, hide valuables. This is something I do make sellers aware of, and it's important. As important as a home showing is, and during a home showing, a buyer agent would be aware of that showing and with that client. We want to make sure that you just hide valuables. We don't want to leave them out on your dresser or, kitchen counter if you have some, nice dishes or crystal. We just want to make sure that those things are in a safe place, whether in a safe or off-site. You give them to a family member to hold on while you're selling your home. But it's surprising how many homeowners do leave jewelry or valuables in the open. Just be mindful of that. We don't want to feel like any buyer that comes in is going to steal, but we also don't want to give an opportunity or risk for either an accident or something intentional. Be smart. Just be smart, think about it. Go through each room, even if you have, I'm not saying as realtors we take buyers and they're taking paintings off the wall, but if you have an expensive painting or, like I said, the china, silverware, jewelry that you tend to leave out on your dresser in your bedroom or in your bathroom, just be safe and play safe and put that away. That's really the best thing to do. Number 4, painting, and we talked about this. This was kind of like the one of those smaller things that you can do that'll go a long way. Absolutely, the buyer needs to be able to envision themselves living in your home, and outdated color schemes may give the buyer a negative impression. The cost of neutralizing bold colors is definitely money well spent. You'll see here, even in the picture, the grays, the creams, even the light hints of blue. If your home had a previous roof leak that was repaired, make sure those water spots are all painted and taken care of. The ceiling, the ceiling, if you have water spots, they're old water spots, let's make sure that we get that ceiling painted. We just want to take away those opportunities where buyers feel that it just wasn't maintained as well as what they're looking for. We're not trying to cover anything up. By all means, if you have a roof leak and it's an active roof leak, we better address the roof leak first and then fix the ceiling or paint the ceiling or any areas that have defects. Let's figure out the problem. That definitely will go a long way, because first and foremost, I know buyers are going to walk in, they're going to look at a ceiling, and they're going to be like, nope, there's water spots everywhere. There's either a bathroom issue, a plumbing issue, or the roof is leaking. So that will rule them a lot of times right out. And that house, your home, may have everything that they want, but if they see any of those defects right away to the eye, they're just not going to be attracted to that house anymore. Remember that buyers automatically assume the worst case scenario, right? So seeing those water spots, they're definitely going to think, and I'm with plenty of buyers, yep, that roof is leaking or that plumbing is leaking. There's definitely an issue. Get me out. So let's take care of all those spots that may be visible to the eye. Number 3, declutter. This is a big one, and this is a really just a candid conversation, and it's not to be insulting by any way. Everyone has to live their lives, have things on their counters, on their desk, on their dresser. But if you are getting ready and preparing your home to sell, go through each room and really look at it from a buyer's point of view. Look at it with a buyer's eye. And look at your bookshelf or look at your kitchen counter and really say, am I showcasing the space that's available here in every room? A cluttered home is going to feel very small and confining. If your home is cluttered, get storage containers or even an offsite. If you're really motivated and you know your time frame is going to be, you're going to have a buyer in there, you're going to get a contract, potentially you could close 45 to 60 days, and you know your house is priced right, you have a realtor that's going to be marketing it and it's in good condition, you could potentially be moving in 45 to 60 days if that's what you want. So if you want that pod to be able to transition wherever you are, a great thing to do to declutter is to get that pod and move things in there. And just showcase that space that you have, especially if you have a small home and you just really, you have a lot of furniture and you've just over pictured the walls, and just you really want to showcase even the smaller homes. Let's get some of those things out of there. You may be a person that likes all of their appliances on their countertop. I know I do. And you've got your KitchenAid, you've got your toaster, you've got your can opener, toaster oven, you've got your flour and your sugar. Put a lot of that away. And use it only on an as needed basis, because you're going to be able to showcase your counters. You want people to see that there's a working, functional kitchen that has great space for someone who may come in, who's a buyer and want to cook, and they're a baker and they just want room for their cookie sheets and they want room to have cooling racks while they do that. So that's really important aspect of decluttering. This will also help you sell your home and give you a head start on the packing, right? So if you get these containers, or even if you get a pod, you're putting away a lot of things that you probably aren't using on a daily basis. And in the meantime, it's creating your transition and getting into packing. So it really gives you a head start. Also, one other thing, have a yard sale, or considering donating. Call organizations, and if you have furniture or knickknacks or pictures that you think might go well, and maybe a non-for-profit organization, and you think that would be a great gift to them, do that. Really put some thought into that. That's one thing. It's helping your home, and then it's helping someone else. So that decluttering is really, really a big deal and will go a long way. Number 2, this is something that is so important. It's very close to number 1, but pricing it right. 90% of any great marketing plan is pricing your home in the correct price range. The price, 3 things are going to sell your home: price, condition, and marketing. Okay, pricing it right is just becomes so important. And a lot of the times a seller just knows that it's going to sell for maybe more than what I'm presenting or more than what the facts are showing. And unfortunately, there's consequences to that. there's serious consequences. It's time on market. It's maybe your time frame of moving is going to change and become longer because we didn't price it right. So if you price it at market value or price it below market value, you're going to attract, and as you price it below market value, you're going to attract more buyers, which is going to create more demand to your home, which ultimately is going to give you that price that we know your home is worth. If we overprice it, say 10, 15%, like this diagram shows, you're only going to be looking at a small, actually a smaller pool of buyers are only going to be looking at your home. When we list your home, when I list a home, and I don't just list, I want to sell your home for you, I want to attract the most amount of buyers. And to do that, we really need to price that home right. We need to take data of current market conditions. We need to take improvements that you've made. We need to look at your showability of your home. And we really need to present that at the right price, because if we don't, as this states, we are just, that pool of buyers is just going to get tighter and tighter, and we're not going to be able to attract that number of buyers that we want in the beginning. The first 21 to 30 days critical in selling your home. It's critical in the marketing. It's critical to attract the most amount of buyers at that time. So pricing it right, really, really important. And we do it with facts, and we do it with condition and your offerings of home. But that's a great conversation we can have and talk through, okay? But it really can impact the time on the market. Okay. Number one, have your home pre-inspected. Don't wait for a potential buyer to get an inspection. So let's talk about this a little bit. You put your home for sale. We procure a buyer. You go into an executed contract. A contingency of that contract is the buyer is going to want to have at their cost a home inspection. Great. They're going to do a home inspection of the structural and mechanicals. They're going to do a pest inspection and a radon inspection. At the time of that inspection, an inspector, a licensed inspector that the buyer has hired, is looking for any structural or mechanical defect that could result in a repair or a replacement of $1,500 or more. So that's the time where the buyer says, you know, they feel good about what they're buying, they have a licensed inspector look at it, everything's great. Well, sometimes everything isn't great. Sometimes the roof comes back and says it's at the end of its life, please contact a qualified roofer to get an estimate. And that's a time where the buyer does that, gets an estimate for a roof, and the seller gets that. And this can be negotiated. These are all negotiating things. But why I say if you're going to sell your home, why I say have a pre-inspection is this is kind of like having peace of mind. It's either having peace of mind that you know everything structurally, mechanically, pest-wise, radon test, everything is good, and you're putting your name to your house, and here you go, Mr. Buyer, we've had everything checked. But what a pre-inspection also can do is inform you of any of those structural or mechanical defects that you may have that you don't know or that may be brought up. One big thing is mold. Mold has become a very relevant issue in homes and is detected fairly often in home inspections. Is there a process of assessing it and remediating it? Absolutely. But if you can have that pre-inspection and have that identified, either mold or a major defect to the structure or mechanics of the home, it's something you have control of to either fix, replace, or repair. If you have the inspection, if you don't have a pre-inspection, let's put it this way, and the buyer has their inspection and they come back and they say, the roof needs to be replaced. It's at the end of its life, needs to be replaced. We'd like to negotiate that with the seller, and the buyer gets an estimate on a new roof, and the seller, you as the seller, has an opportunity to get an estimate on a new roof. You could have two different estimates. The buyer could have an estimate for $10,000. You as the seller, you have an estimate for $7,500. Well, the buyer wants to leverage and say, well, I want this roofer to do it, and I want $10,000 credit to do my roof. To still buy the house, I want $10,000 credit for that roof, or they can relieve themselves of the contract, or they can say they want their roofer to do that work. Now you have a estimate of $7,500. Why should you pay the $10,000 that the buyer wants? This could have been eliminated if you had that pre-inspection where you could control the costs and who, repairs or replaces anything that came back as a major defect. So by having your home pre-inspected by a licensed home inspector, you'll know up front what repairs are necessary. Having this important information ahead of time allows you to repair those items long before a buyer arrives, right? So there's never any indication to a buyer, not that we're hiding anything, we just also can market, well, the roof failed, and in marketing we can now say the home has a brand new roof. Most buyers tend to overestimate, here's this point right here, the cost of repairs indicated in the home inspection, and sometimes attempt to renegotiate the purchase price. So by having this pre-inspection, you control, first of all, you inform yourself of any major structural mechanical defects, and you control the vendors, you control the cost, or maybe it's just something that you can't afford to fix or replace, but you really have that motivation to still sell. That's not a problem at all. At least we know ahead of time that you have those potential issues, right? So that is really important from a selling standpoint. If you really want to be informed and not fear what could happen when the buyer gets it and maybe you're questioning something in your home, is to have your home pre-inspected. So those are my 10 top secrets. Not necessarily secrets, but very important things that I bring up to sellers that I think it's important to do. Just want to see if anybody has any questions right now.
I have a couple questions for you if you like.
Oh, absolutely.
I pulled them off the screen here. So I have a question here from Matt. Do you see the values of home decreasing during the COVID-19 period?
Home values, I do not see a change in those right now. I have in this pandemic time right now with COVID-19, I have probably in the last 7 weeks I've listed 4 homes, and the values are still there from what they were I'm going to say pre-COVID. Home values are still holding strong. This COVID-19 and the pandemic, I read a lot and I talk to a lot of people, and it's a very sensitive issue. It is definitely we have a health crisis going on. It's not a real estate crash. It's not an economy crash as yet, but home values are going to remain strong as long as we have that buyer demand. And the buyer demand, I will say, pre-COVID versus now, I have not seen a change. The buyers are still in demand, and buyers are still waiting for homes to come on the market. Now, with that being said, I'm very sensitive to that when I say that. This is an emotional time, right? And safety's first. Your health is right alongside of that. But there still are a pool of buyers, and there still are a pool of sellers in this fluid time. So I like to be able to educate those people, and us as realtors, we all like to educate the buyers and sellers. And so to answer the question, I do not see any change in listing prices at all, in selling prices at all, because we have that demand. As a matter of fact, we're still in that seller's market, right? Because we have more of a demand than we do have inventory.
Okay, great. Well, we have another question here. Actually, I had a comment from Marvin. Great information. Thank you for the great information, Christine. Sarah, does the buyer still need to do inspections if the seller already had one done prior to putting the home on the market?
Great question. A lot of the buyer is definitely, going to have that leverage to know if it was pre-inspected, and it's up to the seller if they want to share that report. But from a buyer's point of view, I also think not only to point out structural mechanical defects for that buyer in a home inspection, I think it's also important from an education standpoint to be able to have an informed, New York State inspector go through that home and provide also maintenance tips. There's a lot of first-time home buyers right now, and I would hate to not have them make that small investment for that great professional to provide information on home maintenance, on how you take care of your boiler, on just where you turn your water off in the home. I think there's added value not only to point out structural mechanical defects, there's added value of maintenance and to ask questions and be informed from a service professional. So I would never put a buyer in that position and say, oh well, this was pre-inspected, we can save $500 on an inspection. I really think there's added value for an inspection to a buyer even if a home was pre-inspected.
Awesome. Great answer. All right, Sue, is it still safe to sell a home during a pandemic?
It definitely is, and you're going to lead me right into my next slide here. And this is kind of a little extra information that has become relevant with COVID-19. And a little bit about myself. I've been a realtor for 17 years. When this happened, COVID-19, industries were becoming essential and non-essential. And March 22nd, 8 p.m., real estate practices changed. And totally understand why they did. Totally, I get it. It's safety, it's scary, we're all emotional. But there's, like I said before, there's still buyers and sellers out there that need us. I'm in a service industry. They need to know if they want to or need to sell or buy, how can they do it in a situation like this? So I've had to adjust myself a little bit, my practices, following with the protocol of CDC, of course, and the safety. Also following my New York State Association of Realtors and what they're recommending our practices should be to, number one, be safe for ourselves, and to and with the public. So I came up with some real estate practices that keep these two things in mind, CDC and NYSAR, as well as my brokerage. I definitely want to, I appreciate my MC here, Willie Miranda, who's the broker owner of Miranda Real Estate Group, obviously helping me and supporting me with this information I provide. But it's also the brokerage that we have to work with and do as, not as we're told, we're independent contractors, but take guidance from. So yes, I have a new standard of practice. I do have, this is a little, I don't know, this is like a couple minutes long on this presentation. Hi everyone, Christine Serafini, Miranda Real Estate Group, licensed real estate salesperson. I hope you are all well, and I just wanted to give a message out here. During the current pandemic that we're in with COVID-19, there's a lot of questions and concerns, if you will, about what the real estate industry is doing to respond and work through the pandemic, and what are our new standards of practice. And I personally have adopted new standards of practice for both buyers and sellers. There definitely still is a market. There's definitely buyers out there looking for homes, and sellers, they have a situation where they want or need to sell. So I think it's important that I become and stay informed so that I can serve you as a realtor and provide you with the most up-to-date information. So I just want to let you know and guide you to SerafiniSellsHomes.com. I'm putting a special page there on my website that will keep you updated with some resources, but also my contact information. Please, by all means, reach out to me via the website, via text, via phone. I would be most grateful if you did that, because there's a lot of misconceptions right now about what realtors can do and what we can't do as services, and I stay on top of those. Our brokerage stays on top of what those activities are, and I think it's really important to share that with you as consumers, both buyers and sellers. I'm also in constant communication with lenders attorneys, home inspectors, appraisers, title companies. Every county is different in how we do business, but there's a lot of electronic and virtual business going on, and I think we've all learned a lot from this. But just to let you know, buyers and sellers can still transact business safely and very much being educated. If I don't know the answer to one of your questions, I'm going to make sure I go to a professional that can get that answer for me. But definitely want you to use me as a resource. I've been a realtor for 17 years, have great contacts, and I always want to be here to answer your questions. So again, SeraphiniSellsHomes.com. I have a special page there for the COVID-19 and real estate resources. So by all means, go to that, or you can call me 518-514-8830. You can email me as well, SeraphiniSellsHomes@gmail.com. I also have a Zoom account now. I know that's a new virtual way of talking and communicating, and I absolutely love it because it's live time. So I could always set up a Zoom with you at the convenience, at whatever time's good for you, and in the comfort of your own home. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that page is helpful for you, SeraphiniSellsHomes.com. Go to COVID-19, and there's a realtor real estate resource page for you. So have a great day, and I hope the information is helpful. Take care. So what I've done, I have a blog, and this is a link right here to the blog on my website, and you can go to SeraphiniSellsHomes.com and go into resources and click my blog. But it's a full article on how I'm handling services with buyers and services with sellers, and it's a very different time. But I also don't think that this is going to go away anytime soon. I think we have to be very mindful, again, of safety. And we have to, but we still have to practice. You know, this is still a service. I still want to provide a service to you and know that you can do it safely. So when you visit the blog, you'll see those different things on how we handle things, actually how I handle things, and put my name to. And there's a video on my blog as well you can listen to. So COVID-19 is definitely has changed many things, and this is uncharted territory. We're learning as we go. We need to inform ourselves constantly. I mean, you see the daily updates that we receive as communities in our, locally, statewide, and nationally. And we need, myself as a service provider, stay on top of that. I always want to be in the know. So if I have questions from a buyer or a seller about how I'm handling things with COVID-19, yes, we can do business, but we can do business differently, and we can do it successfully too. We definitely can, and I put my name to that, definitely.
All right, so no more questions, but just one last comment from Mary. Great information, Christine. Very timely. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate everyone just tuning in. Please, I'll play this afterwards, and you'll be able to share it. But I just thought it was important. It's springtime, if you are thinking of selling your home, these things will help you. These, secrets that I have, I definitely think they'll go a long way, and most importantly, will help get you top dollar for your home. Also, another important thing that I wanted to share today was the real estate practices. So please feel free, visit my blog, go to Seraphini Sells Homes, go to the resources tab, choose blog, and you'll be able to see the video and the new practices that I have in place to buy and sell with the community during COVID-19. So I thank you very much.